Welcome to this month's Vanners collaboration, and today we are going to be talking about the Highway Code and 5 ways which we'd consider how to improve it. The Highway Code is a very good book and it's worthwhile rereading it occasionally. But given that there is always scope for improvement, look on the back cover. You can see that there have been several different editions of the Highway Code over the years. Perhaps some of the stuff that we say may even end up in a future version. Who knows? The first thing we're going to talk about today is the confusing language that is in the Highway Code. Look at the rule on overtaking, for example. It's like a page and a half long. Contrast that to Rule 171, which is a short paragraph. Now, I prefer something abrupt and direct. You're in charge of a vehicle, you haven't got time to read a page and a half or to remember what was in the page and a half. So Rule 171 says, you must stop behind the line at a junction with a stop sign and a solid white line across the road. Wait for a safe gap in the traffic before you move off. That's pretty clear. Whereas some of the parking or some of the overtaking restrictions, there's an awful lot to know. I just think it could be worded a little better than it is. This little book is also filled with shoulds and musts. It should be simplified down to do's and don'ts. Don't leave things up to interpretation. If you tell people, oh, you shouldn't go and do that, but you can if you really have to, people are going to do it. Make it a must or make it allowed. As simple as that. Point number 3, cycling. Now, both of us are cyclists and both of us ride our bicycles on the road. I definitely prefer to ride in a cycle lane, if at all possible. I've been to the Netherlands a couple of times, and the Netherlands, they do really seem to have it sus when it comes to cycle lanes. They have a segregation. You know, if you're on a bicycle, you'll be in a properly prepared cycle lane. Now, I'm not talking about a bit of paint on the side of the road where people come and park their cars right in the middle of it and you're riding in and out of parked cars. I think that's more dangerous than just sticking to your lane on a road. But I do think some serious thought needs to be put into building proper segregated cycle lanes that don't interrupt the flow of your cycling. And if such a thing actually really and truly exists, then it should be made compulsory to put a cyclist in such a cycle lane and enforce the segregation. Look, it's going to be safer for both cyclists and drivers, and it really would reduce the chances of a collision. Point number 4 is the measurement muddle we find ourselves into on roads in the UK.
Settle down, people. Get ready for this one.
Some people like to use feet and inches, but I'm not one of them. Why not? Couple of things. Look at your V5 document. All your weights and measures are already in metric. Your vehicle handbook is in metric. Weights on the road are also in metric. I saw something on £1 million motorhomes that really didn't sit well with me. There was a clip where I think it was a French motorhome had gone down a very narrow road, and everybody thought it was, how hilarious. But honestly, the sign in question was one of those long, confusing essay signs where you've got like a paragraph of English and somewhere in the middle was the archaic feet and inches measurements. Somebody from France is going to look at that and not read it. So I don't think it's very funny at all to make fun of people that can't necessarily read English so well and end up getting stuck. I think it's a failure of our signage system, and I'd encourage you to go and have a look at this little pamphlet. I'll make a link in the description below. The final point on our agenda is driving on the wrong side of the road. Here in the UK, and a couple of other countries in the world, we drive on the left-hand side of the road. That is, until you see something like a nice parking that you like, or something else that you want to swing across the road.
Postbox.
Yeah.
Favourite.
But it boils down to, if you're going to cross over the road to park or to get somewhere, you're actually driving on the wrong side of the road. I just think it's appropriate to, drive on the left and stick to driving on the left instead of deciding mid-journey to swap over and, let's try driving on the right-hand side and see how that goes.
And obviously, if you've pulled over to the wrong side of the road to park over to do whatever it is you need to do, once you've finished, you have to cross back over the wrong side of the road to drive on the right side of the road. Or the left side of the road. You know what I mean.
The correct or the incorrect? The left or the right? Yeah, this is one item that we could perhaps come up with a more novel and creative form of punishment. You know, we've got a little bit of a demonstration that we'll show you about what we'd like to see happening to folks that insist on driving like that. So if you got this far, thanks for watching. A reminder that this video is part of the Vanners collaboration series, and there's going to be some other videos in this month's playlist. There'll be a link in the description below where you can go and look at other creators' videos. I'm sure they would really appreciate that. So that's it from us.
Bye.
Bye.